Berlin, November 1989. MI6 agent James Gassiogne, Sam Hargrave, is fleeing through the streets, pursued by someone in a car. The assailant catches up and forces him against another vehicle, trapping Gassiogne between the two. Yuri Broughton, Johannes Johannesson, his attacker, steps out of the car. Gassiogne makes a remark, expressing hope that his killer would be someone else, before Broughton shoots him in the head. Broughton then removes the watch from Gassioigne's wrist and discards his body into the river. 10 days later, another agent, Lorraine Broughton, Charlize Theron, surfaces from a tub of ice water, bruised and battered. She proceeds to a debriefing with her superior, Eric Gray, Toby Jones, and CIA agent Emmett Kurtzfeld, John Goodman. Observing the discussion from behind a two-way mirror is MI6 Chief C, James Faulkner, who listens intently. Since Gassioigne's death, both MI6 and the CIA have been trying to locate the list, which holds the details of active Soviet field agents. It's revealed that Gassiogne was betrayed by an agent named Konrad Satchel, who leaked classified information to the Soviets. The scene shifts back to the day following Gassioigne's murder, hinting at a close personal relationship between him and Lorraine. Two men pick Lorraine up as she gets to West Berlin. The car crashes after a brawl breaks out after Lorraine discovers the two men are KGB spies while they are being driven. Percival shows there and assists Lorraine in getting better after following in his own vehicle. She is dispatched to Berlin to retrieve the list and eliminate Satchel, with plans to meet her contact, David Percival, James McAvoy. Percival is introduced in a bar, where he meets a Stasi officer known as Spyglass, Eddie Marson, who is preparing to defect to the West. Spyglass possesses vital information regarding the list, and Percival seeks answers from him. Meanwhile, KGB arms dealer Alexander Bremovich, Roland Mahler, is also in pursuit of the list. He confronts a group of street thugs that his henchmen have brought to him, claiming they have seen Spyglass. Bremovich violently beats one of the punks and commands his men to locate Spyglass. While in Berlin, Lorraine contacts the watchmaker, Till Schweiger, an MI6 ally with a penchant for fixing watches. Lorraine visits Gassioigne's apartment and discovers photographs of him with Percival. Just then, police officers arrive at the scene, prompting her to confront them. She swiftly takes them down using her fists and some cables, ultimately swinging out of a window while entangled with one of the officers. During her debriefing, Lorraine speculates that Percival may have sent the police, given that he was the only other person aware of her visit to the apartment. Percival slows down Lorraine's investigation by phoning the police. Meanwhile, Broughton resurfaces and meets with the watchmaker in an attempt to sell Gassioigne's watch, which contains the list. Later, at a bar, Lorraine encounters Delphine Lassalle, Sophia Boutella, a French operative who had been tailing her. After some conversation, they find a private place. Delphine kisses Lorraine, but Lorraine remains wary of her motives. Pressing her against the wall, Lorraine demands to know why she's been pursuing her. Once Delphine assures her that she poses no threat, the two share an intimate moment. Broughton approaches Percival with the watch, but Percival unexpectedly drives an ice pick into Broughton's head and seizes the list for himself. He then examines the watch, uncovering the names of all the agents. Percival attempts to assist Lorraine in escorting Spyglass to West Berlin. To her surprise, Spyglass's wife and child are with him. They work to hide Spyglass as they navigate the streets, aware that KGB agents are tracking them. Suddenly, Percival turns and shoots Spyglass in the stomach. Lorraine quickly takes him into an apartment building to avoid detection. KGB agents launch an attack, compelling Lorraine to fight her way down the stairwell. The confrontation spills out onto the streets as Lorraine tries to escape with Spyglass, but they are repeatedly found by the agents. Eventually, Lorraine's car plunges into the river. And despite her efforts to save him, Spyglass succumbs to his injuries. Meanwhile, Delphine contacts Percival after discovering his true intentions. She has been photographing him with Gassionia and is in the process of developing the images when Percival stealthily enters her apartment and attempts to strangle her with a garrote. Delphine fights back, but ultimately, he kills her. Lorraine arrives too late and finds Delphine's lifeless body. Later, Lorraine tracks down Percival after he has torched his safe house. She fires a shot, confirming that he is Satchel. Percival professes his love for Berlin just before Lorraine puts a bullet in his head and takes the list from him. The scene shifts back to the present, where Lorraine concludes her debriefing. She presents Gray and Kurtzfeld with photos of Percival along with audio recordings to demonstrate that he is a traitor. When asked if she knows the current location of the list, she claims not to know. Gray then officially closes the case. 3 days later, Lorraine travels to Paris to meet Bremovich, posing as if she is handing over the list. However, Bremovich recognizes that she is not who she pretends to be, and several of his men begin to encircle her. Lorraine retrieves her gun from an ice bucket and begins to shoot at the goons, saving Bremovich for last. She drops her British accent, revealing that she is Satchel, having been a triple agent for the CIA all along. She ultimately kills Bremovich. The film ends with Lorraine boarding a plane back to the States alongside Kurtzfeld.